Okay, we're going to assemble the radiometer following the schematic here. The first thing you should probably do, you could either connect the power, you should connect the power up first, the bipolar supply. So the way that works, the breadboard are all a little bit different in terms of the terminals, but what I've done here is I've set up this lead here to be the plus 9 volts connected to this red thing with a wire coming out, and then I set up this lead over here, this terminal here, as the negative 9 volts with this wire I used. You should color code your wires, it keeps it a little bit cleaner. There's plenty of wire available to cut and strip and use. And then the negative and the positive from each of these is connected together to form the common over here, and I have a black wire for that. So let's add power to the board. First we're actually let's just add the ground. So I connected this black wire ground to the outside of the board. You can put it anywhere you want, but this is a good spot because there's a lot of places, there's a lot of wires that need to be connected to ground. So let's make this outside rail, for example, ground. Okay. Now the chip is sitting right here in the middle. Where the dot is pin number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you jump directly over to the other side, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right? 1 through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright? So we're going to power this chip. According to the schematic, it says that plus 9 volts needs to go to pin 7. So that's 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's way over here. Plus 9 is this red wire. Batteries are not installed because I don't want to burn out the chip. I don't want to destroy the chip in case I plug something in wrong. You connect the batteries last. So that's plus 9 into pin 7. Minus 9 is pin 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pin 4, minus 9. The chip is powered, so we're all set. Second thing is to look at the resistors. So we have the resistors set up over here. They're all tied together on one side according to the schematic. So that's good. They're on the inside rail. Then they go through my switch. The switch usually has a label on it where it says off with an arrow. So right now all these switches are positioned off. It's plugged in. Then there's wires coming out. I cut little brown wires here, not to be red, not to be black, or green for that matter, just something neutral. So I picked brown, made little short wires. I actually custom made those just before this video. They all come out individually and then they all connect together and they go to this outside rail. So here's the resistors. You can easily check this by putting your ohm meter on either side and then just click on one of these at a time. So that one would be for the 100K, sorry, the 10K. The first one, the way I have it set up, would be for red 1K. So let's just leave one of them on. I'll go with the 10K. And turn everybody off. You can only have one on at a time, or else it doesn't work. Okay, so they connect to the chip through pins 6 and 2. One side goes to pin 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you see the brown wire comes along like this, and then goes into the chip at pin 6. The other side, pin 2, comes along, there's the brown wire, goes into the chip, pin 2. The resistor network is all set up. Check. And it's powered up. Okay, what else do we have to do? We have to ground one of the pins. Pin number 3 needs to see a ground. So I cut a little black wire, which is right here coming into the picture. There it is. And that needs to, 3 needs to go to ground. Remember, the outside is ground, so I find pin 3, 1, 2, 3, there it is. And I connect it to ground. So my fingers are going to get in the way here in the video. That's okay, there it is. Outside is ground, 1, 2, 3. 3 is now grounded. That's the third step. The fourth and fifth steps are coming up next. Let's connect the diode, the detector. So here's the detector. Got it connected. It's plugged in. Let's plug it in. Let's aim it at some constant illumination. And let's plug it in. Where does the detector need to go? Let's look at our schematic. The detector needs to go between ground and pin 2. So So remember, my ground is in the outside over here. So let's just plug it into the ground. And pin 2. Pin 2, 1, 2. So I can either, there's a bunch of pins under here for pin 2, but remember, I can connect to the outside there like that. That's pin 2. All set. Now the fifth step is connecting the meter to monitor the voltage coming out. Where does that need to go according to the schematic? It's ground and pin 6, the output of the chip. So I plug it into my ground over here, and the output is pin 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 is the other side of the resistor network. So it goes right there, like that. Okay, now we bring the meter into the picture here. And we want to plug in the meter. First thing, we put the meter on volts, not volts AC. That's what the tilde symbol is, AC. We put it on volts DC. That's what the straight line there means, DC current. And then our input goes to, the connectors rather, the leads, common, and then volts over here. Okay. Then it's auto ranging, so we don't have to worry about adjusting the ranges. And let's plug in the power. Battery number 1, battery number 2. Okay, let's look at our display, and it reads something like 0.2 volts. How do I know if it's working? Without touching anything in terms of, well, the first thing you could do is you take your detector and shine it at something bright. I'm aiming it out the window, it reads 2.6. I turn it upside down, it reads 0.018. That tells me it's actually proportional, it's giving a voltage proportional to light. Maybe I aim it at something constant, it reads 0.18. How do I know if this is working? Well, if I increase the resistance by a factor of 10, that should read 1.8. So let's do it. We turn off the 10K resistor, we turn on the 100K resistor, and lo and behold, the display reads 1.8. And that's it. So those are the 5 steps to assemble the radiometer. I went through all the various connections, and when you're done, you need to detach the batteries because they will drain, and when you go to pick up your radiometer next time, the batteries will be low in voltage or dead. Okay, there you have it.